two bad guys in the DC and Lego DC universe. If you could play a hero in the DC, who would you choose and why?
Green Lantern, because when I was a kid, that was my favorite hero. Next, close second to Batman, but I just thought that his willpower with the magic ring to be able to create any shape he wanted was like the stuff I did as a teenager.
Yeah.
I made my imagination come to true, which is applicable to my acting career. You know, I knew in high school I wanted to do this, and I went and got my master's in theater, and then here I am, working with like over 200 credits behind me. And whenever I get bored, I go back to the stage, which is something I'm about to do. So life is good. I'm doing a one-man show called Ghost in the House about Jack Johnson, the first African-American heavyweight champion in America, worldwide actually. So that's up next.
Yeah, sure. So obviously, once again, leading on, you play a lot of bad guys. You obviously like it. What's the coolest thing about being the bad guy? Like what?
Well, bad guys, I hate that generality, but it's okay. Bad guys are much more complex than so-called good guys. You know, good guys are sunshiny, smiling, they have no problems in the world. Bad guys tend to have more gravitas to them, and their wants are clearer. You know? But it's not like I went out seeking, okay, I want every bad guy role possible. It's just the luck of the draw. You know? And I have played like fathers. I am a father. I played that. I played humans, which is good. It's always good to be a human. But you know, every now and then they'll throw a superhero. And there's another. You said I did 2 DC characters.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Dark Side.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know. I was just testing. I know I did. And I just did another one for the DC universe. I can't tell you who it is, but it's coming soon. Connected to the reign of Superman. Yeah, I think this particular one is going to be debuted at New York Comic Con, so it's huge. It's two appearances, Justice League as well.
You've played a couple of horror icons, Candyman and you were in the Final Destination film. What do you get recognised the most for?
It depends on the person, you know. I mean, everybody has something. I've done it enough that everybody's got something. I guess Candyman would probably be #1. But I love that film, and we're going to do a Q&A tomorrow with a special guest coming in. The director, Bernard Rose, is going to be here. He's from London. So he called me this morning and said, could he crash the Q&A? So he'll be here with me, because he's got a couple of projects he wants to talk about, and we're getting ready to do something else. It'll be top secret until tomorrow. But it's, you know, again, I don't glory in the past. I'm always thinking forward. At the end of the day, then I'll bring out all of my little action figures, which all started with Star Trek, by the way, when I played a Klingon Kern, and now there's about 23 of them. So at some point, when it's all done and I retire from this business, I can pull them all out and say, this is it, folks. This is the legacy we've left behind.
What was it like working with Clint Eastwood and Oliver Stone?
Clint Eastwood is an actor's director, primarily because he doesn't beat you in the audition. He has a casting director he trusts, that you lay it down in the video and he chooses immediately. There's no procrastination. He knows exactly what he wants, and that comes from his career as an actor. And then also when you shoot, I did Bird with him, the Charlie Parker story. When you shoot, he doesn't do any more than 2 takes, because he chooses the actors based on the tape, so he knows that he's going to get the caliber of performance that he wants. 2 takes, and there's only 10-hour days. In the film business, your average day is 16 hours. You know, when we did The Crow, and we lost Brandon Lee, part of the problem was we were shooting 17 hours a day. And, you know, accidents happen. And it's unfortunate, because if he had lived long enough, he would have seen that The Crow catapulted him into stardom. And Oliver Stone gave me my first job. So I was doing a one-man show called Johnny Got His Gun, an anti-war piece. These people caught wind of it, and they brought me in, and he immediately, after 4 hours of doing improvs and stuff, he cast me, It was my first film. Went over to the Philippines, spent 4 months there, dodging the chain snatching monkeys that jumped out of you from everywhere. But we made it, and here we are. And we won 4 Academy Awards, which was awesome. There's a new documentary called Brothers in Arms. That was a series of interviews of all surviving members of the film, and this comes out in the spring. We're very proud of it. Brothers in Arms, the story of Platoon.
You talked about enjoying the complexity of the characters. So, of all the characters you've portrayed over the years, which would you say has interested you the most when it came to the part?
Well, Candyman is a pretty complex guy, and I did the backstory for him, which is that he was a slave, or the son of a slave, and the whole lynching situation, and how they cut off his arm, and how he became an Indian ghost. It's the independent films that I've chosen that tend to be more complex, other than the Hollywood, the Rocks and so forth. Though The Rock was a lot of fun. But I did an independent film called Driven, which is about the underbelly of cab drivers and those long hours they go through, that won a couple of awards. I'm very proud of that. Recently, we did a film called Sushi Girl, which is a gangster film, and I'm the producer of it, and I got Mark Hamill to come on board, which is perhaps our biggest accomplishment. But it also has Jimmy Duvall, Sonny Chiba, great cast of character actors, Near and Far, long legacy that wanted to come play. So, acting is playing. So as long as you don't stress and like, oh my God, oh me, oh my, when am I going to get my next job? You're going to be fine, because the next job will come if you have faith in yourself and you just live your life. So I never worry about that. We have 5 films in the can that we've already completed, and this one-man show I told you about, and this script I'm writing called Sakeo, which is about American baseball, set in the DR, Dominican Republic. So that's going to be interesting for next year. Busy, busy, busy.
Did you read the short story that
The
Candyman?
Forbidden?
That Candyman was based on?
Yeah, The Forbidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Have you read any of the author's other works? Because quite a few of them do get adapted into films.
Of Clive's work, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I got the job, I had to do my research. Absolutely. I mean, that's what we do. I don't, it's all information for the soul. And Clive signed off of his blessing. I think it was brilliant that Burnett transposed it to Chicago, which gave it, international prestige. Yeah, of course I did. And Clive is also a friend. Yes.
You've worked with a lot of people in all the projects that you've done. Is there someone that you would like to work with that you haven't worked with before?
There's
And
a
what
few.
type of project would you like that to be? And maybe what type of character would you like to play?
Well, something different. Diversity is always good. I've always, when we were in school, we always looked up to Robert De Niro, from Taxi Driver to Mean Streets and Casino and onward and upward. That's someone I know he's a fan of horror and of my work. We have mutual friends, so that would be great. Director-wise, Scorsese, I would adore working with him. Hasn't happened yet, but that's something to wish for. Those are the 2 at the top of my list. Sidney Poitier, who's retired. I would have loved to, rub his elbow, or sit down and have a conversation, because, he was the first African-American to cast into the limelight. And how did that happen to Sidney, and how do you feel about it, and what were the consequences? So, yeah, there's a ton of people. You always want to work with the best. You can only be better by working with the best. Yes, sir.
What type of struggles have you faced as an African American in the industry?
Wishing that there were more of us on the set in the beginning of my career. Very few, but now that there's filming down in Atlanta, Georgia, I just did 4 projects there in the last year. I just joined the cast of Scream season 3, so that was the last thing I shot there. So that story's already broken. I'll tell you that. The struggles of any actor is just to stay fresh and to constantly reinvent yourself and to be aware and acutely aware of what's going on socially. In America, we're upside down right now. We have a lot of struggles, a lot of caca going on. So you got to feed off of that. Historically, good work comes out of adversity, After every war, the new writers will crop up. There's new passions, there's new anger to be addressed and to somehow be laid out artistically. So I wait for those opportunities. There's more and more work for all ethnicities now, which is great. Hollywood is catching up to the fact that the world has many, many facets and many colors and many shades. So, all power to young people.
So obviously as the Candyman, you scare a lot of people. If you could nail it down to one thing, what scares you the most?
Me?
Yeah.
Politics is very frightening right now, particularly in the States. We have countries being really divided. Everything starts at the top, so I can't wait for that cycle to refresh itself and regurgitate. That's really frightening. Because I remember coming up in the 70s and the 80s, and people were absolutely more unified. Now it's really divisive. And art should stand for itself. A lot of people tell that actors should shut up and not speak politically. I can't do that because I was political first, right? So I will not be silenced. So I just wish that there's more harmony in the world and less confusion. Yes?
So where I work, much like a book club, we've started a horror film club, and I've been championing for Candyman. Our first pick is Halloween, but I've been championing for Candyman to be our next pick.
Oh.
So what would you
Good
say?
luck.
What would you say to the people of the Anthony Nolan charity to get them to watch Candyman?
Some of them haven't seen it, I take it. Well, probably because in some quarters, horror has a stigmatized, opinion that is somewhat of a bastard child. So they should know that it's actually classier than most, that it is not a slasher, there's no teenagers in the woods. It's thought-provoking, and maybe they'll come away with a deeper understanding of this particular man